A great man by the name of Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." But what does it mean to lose yourself? It means rejecting the greed, anger, and hatred that knock on the door of your soul every day and opening that door to generosity, devotion, and love. We usually think of service as helping those in need and fail to acknowledge that we need it more than anything. By reaching out, we can discover our passions and fulfill our potential. Our world expands. New stories, friends, and experiences emerge. Experiences like preparing the walls of an elementary school for a total makeover, or doing the dishes for an entire sleepaway camp, which is actually surprisingly very fun. Or building a children's library from the ground up for a school that doesn't have the luxury of infinite books at their fingertips. You can make a child's entire day with a picture book of their own. You never know what kind of impact you can make on a person, but the way they impact you stays with you forever. The possibilities are endless. As Gandhi said, the real journey to finding yourself starts with you.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Vita. I am the Community Service Coordinator at Carmel High School. I'm also the ASB account clerk, so you will often see me when you're paying for things at Carmel High. But I just wanted to talk about community service today because that's a very important part of graduating from Carmel High. If you ever have questions about community service or need ideas for opportunities, come and see me in the ASB office and we will help get you situated with something you want to do. Community service is service volunteered by individuals to benefit a community or its institutions. Community service can be either local or global in perspective. It can be individual or through an organization. It is always unpaid voluntary service.
Hey, Andres!
I'm Ananda.
I'm Cosima.
And I'm Olivia.
Why do you guys think community service is important?
Well, community service is a great way to give back to your community.
It's also a great way to network with others and create friendship like these.
Aww. Community service is a great way to explore all of your passions and help others at the same time.
There are many reasons to volunteer.
To help others.
To meet new people.
To make a difference.
To have fun.
To feel better about yourself.
To learn a new skill.
Or to improve a skill you already have.
To give hope to others.
To help make others happy.
To help the environment.
To feel valued and appreciated.
To give your life purpose.
And to feel an increased sense of community.
And you could show character and commitment on your college application.
Not to mention you need community service if you want to graduate.
At Carmel High School, we require 60 hours of community service in order to graduate. I got my hours at the Carmel River School Garden Club.
I got my hours volunteering for the Jingle Bell Run in Monterey.
I got my hours from volunteering at a Mir summer camp.
What are you gonna do?
I play my trumpet for the local church in Carmel. Every month there is a small ensemble that gets together and we play music for the church. We get community service hours for that. But basically, it's cool because you take something that you enjoy, like music, and then you go perform for people in the community. Another thing you could do for community service is internships. So I did an unpaid internship this last summer through the Naval Postgraduate School, and they offer tons of internships through anything you could possibly imagine. A lot of them are research-based. I did my internship through Applied Physics at the Railgun facility, but you go in for as many hours as you want. Typically, they're normal working hours, but you do the internship, and they'll give you the community service hours based on however many you do.
Carmel High School requires 60 hours of community service. You must complete 30 hours before your junior year to have an off-campus pass, and 45 hours before your senior year.
Community service forms are available in the main office and online. Turn in completed forms to Mrs. Vita in the Community Service Office, Make sure the form is completely filled out, including a signature from your supervisor.
You're about to meet two ambitious high school students who we've been following for months, drowning in coursework and test prep in the mad dash towards college. But just this week, 85 top schools, including the entire Ivy League, signing on to try to tone down the pressure with potentially game-changing proposals. So what does it mean for kids with big college dreams?
It's an early weekend morning, and while most kids are sleeping in, Chris Karpovich is cramming.
Mom, I'm not taking a break.
There's just moments to go before he takes the SAT, and tensions are running high.
You just drop me here.
Can you not jump out of the car?
Mom, literally, it's fine. I'll go walk. You don't have to. Mom. Bye, Mom.
He's been very stressed out, so he has a cold, and it's raining. A lot of us go, oh, high school, that was when I had all that fun. That was when I did all those things. I hung out with my friends. He really doesn't have time to do any of that.
But while Chris and millions of stressed out students are applying for the class of 2020, hell-bent on finding the fabled holy grail of that perfect application, a sea change is underway that threatens to revamp the very system on which admissions are based.
In our day and age, young people are too focused on achievement, and we need to send a more balanced set of messages.
Richard Weisbord of Harvard and his team publishing a new report this week called Turning the Tide, lambasting a student body obsessed with personal success over the common good, calling for sweeping recommendations to what some see as a broken college admission system.
Everybody knows that the system's irrational, that the system's out of whack.
Parents are painfully aware of it, too.
Do you feel like college admissions just chokes all of the joy out of childhood?
Yes, I say, it needs to stop. Something needs to give. I can't. Why not? Because this is what they are looking for.
Chris is a senior at Rye High School, just north of New York City. Ambitious students and a rigorous curriculum, making it one of the best public schools in the nation.
This is AP Scholar, National Honor Society. This is the Youth in Philanthropy Award.
On paper, he checks off the many boxes prestigious universities say they scout for. He has near-perfect grades. He's captain of the cross-country and debate teams, and spends countless hours volunteering at Bread of Life, his parents' food pantry, even creating a chapter at his own school.
How much sleep do you get a night?
5 hours, maybe.
He's moody. He doesn't sleep. You see fatigue. You shouldn't see that on a teenager.
But you do. On Chris and countless others, years of sacrifice, huge chunks of his childhood, he says, all in the hopes of getting into his dream school, Harvard, where both his parents went.
What happens if you don't get into Harvard?
Then I looked my other choices. Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
But with competition at an all-time high, it very well might. Harvard University is ground zero for this reform movement, pushing to turn down the heat on the pressure cooker.
How did the college process become so stressful?
I mean, middle and upper class communities, they became very focused on a small number of colleges. And parents start signaling each other that these are the colleges that are most important to get your kids into.
The recommendations, pragmatic yet groundbreaking, emphasizing quality over quantity, encouraging fewer extracurricular activities, fewer AP courses, and even, in some cases, making the SAT optional.
So this is the big moment.
Yep.
But for Chris, as he's checking for his SAT results, it's far from optional. His chances of getting in, he thinks, along with his future, hangs in the balance.
Are you nervous? My hands are going to clammy.
And the site's down, so.
Oh my gosh, the site crashed.
So many kids are checking them right now that the site's actually down.
Do you ever try to tell him, honey, there's more to life than Harvard?
I want him to go to the best school for him, but he insists that he has worked very hard. Out of his mouth, I have sacrificed so much. I have to get into the best school possible.
Come on, Doodle. Across town, the new recommendations could help students like Sorka McCrowan, a junior at Rye High, who won't be applying until next year. Come on, Katie. Behind that smile, a sadness, and a story that before may not have counted so heavily in the admissions process.
I was 11 years old when my mom died, so I had to become an adult when I was still in elementary school.
She lost her mom, an architect and professor at Columbia, to meningitis. Her father forced to work multiple jobs to support 4 kids. Sorka stepping up to help care for her brother, Connor, who has autism.
People didn't know how to really interact with him, but we just love him all the same.
This is me, Seamus, Connor, and I.
She finds comfort in photographs and memories.
This is my favorite photo of my mom. There's this one. People have told me when I showed them the photo that they say I look like my mom. You do look like her.
Sorka founded a meningitis awareness club, a final promise to her mother to help others.
I wanted to make sure that nobody in my community had to go through what I go through.
So how was meningitis diagnosed?
But Weisbord argues it's not just meaningful work in school, but it's service like Sorka's provided at home in a time of need, which should count as community service.
A lot of family contributions, low-income kids especially, often their contributions don't count in the college admissions process.
A month later, Chris is busy putting the finishing touches on his Harvard application, adding his near-perfect SAT scores.
I hope colleges will see that I'm not just a bunch of numbers.
There's nothing left to do but wait. The entire Ivy League and more than 50 colleges have endorsed the recommendations. Though there's no surefire way to ensure enforcement, MIT is already putting them to work.
We added a question. How have you improved the lives of others?
So it's all happening right here?
It's all happening right here, yeah.
I feel the heat coming off the door right now. And how carefully do you pore over all of the admissions?
We look at everything that comes in on every application. We look at every application more than once. I was amazed at how thorough we really are.
Back in New York, there's only 4 days to go until the Harvard decision.
Your mom quoted you as saying you sacrificed so much.
I've tried my hardest to sort of do the best that I can.
They tell you this is your future. That's the message he hears.
It's not the decision they'd hoped for. Chris is deferred. He'll have to wait until at least March for Harvard's final decision.
Yeah, it wasn't the best outcome.
His disappointment, a study in understatement.
You feel like you haven't accomplished enough for someone to accept you, but in the end, I think that it gives me an opportunity to look at a lot of other schools.
Trying to keep things in perspective, some advice from his principal to help him absorb the blow.
What's the 36-hour pout rule? If they are deferred or denied, we say 36 hours, you pout, you feel bad for yourself, and you're going to start working, and we're going to find another first choice.
Chris is doing just that as he continues applying to 16 additional schools.
There's Princeton, MIT, Yale, Cornell, UPenn, Carnegie Mellon, Johns Hopkins, Stanford, University of Michigan, University of Washington, Brown, Dartmouth, Northwestern.
A dream deferred, perhaps, for Chris. But it could be different next year for Sorka. Her hours of personal sacrifice may just boost her application, which in years past may not have counted as much.
Being here makes me think about my mom.
As she walks the campus where her mother once taught, she hopes her application may capture the fuller picture of who she is and why it counts.
I'm really excited for college, and it's like a chance to start over, and I'm excited about the future.
When it comes time to fill out college applications, many colleges ask for meaningful experiences you had in high school. Your community service may be something you can include. Colleges look for consistent participation over time because it may indicate commitment and dedication.
Students under the age of 16 completing more than 50 hours of community service in one calendar year are eligible to receive the Presidential Service Award. Projects and opportunities are endless around Monterey County. Find something that interests you. Some things to keep in mind. You cannot be paid for community service. The organization must be a nonprofit, and not all service with a religious organization counts as community service. If you're unsure, ask before you volunteer. Most community service will fall into one of the following categories.
If that's your fancy, you can work on social and humanitarian projects.
Like caring for the elderly people.
You could work for a food bank.
You can fight malnutrition.
You can volunteer at a local hospital.
You can build homes in a low-income area.
You can even create clothing or a food drive, or if you want, create a new government in Venezuela.
Yeah!
about 1 billion people on the planet don't have access to safe, clean drinking water. My name is Seth Maxwell, and I'm 24 years old, and I'm the founder of the Thirst Project. Thirst Project is a movement of high school and college students across America that are raising awareness of and bringing solutions to the global water crisis. What we're doing with that is essentially traveling across the U.S. as our nonprofit to speak at high schools and colleges and educate those students about the water crisis and then challenge them to do something about it. I had a friend who was a photojournalist who had just come back from a trip that she had taken all over the world, and over about a 45-minute coffee session, I sat and listened and watched as I looked at picture after picture after picture of 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds on the side of the road drinking water out of puddles, ponds, swamps, stuff that looked like chocolate milk. And I went home and started talking to my friends, and I was like, guys, you have no idea what's going on in the world. And we started raising awareness on our campus, and then a couple other schools shortly after that said, would you guys come to our school and basically tell our friends what you told us? We want to see if we can do something. So we did, and in about a month, the first 2 schools we spoke at raised about $12,000 that they gave to us and said, go build wells. So that was really the inception or moment where we realized we could do this, like we could really make something significant happen here. We're just now 4 years old, and in those 4 years, those students have helped us raise about $2.6 million that we then use to build wells in 11 countries to give 100,000 people safe, clean water indefinitely. Suddenly it means that kids who used to have to walk 8 hours a day, 10 kilometers to the nearest pond or stream don't have to do that anymore. So they're able to go to school, they're able to get an education. It means that women who used to have to walk 8 hours a day to get, water from a nearest pond, they don't have to do that anymore. They're able to get jobs, they're able to contribute financially to their households. We've seen disease rates pretty consistently drop by about 80% almost overnight when you bring safe water into a community. So Take Part TV is partnering with us for our annual gala, and one of the campaigns we've developed with them is called the Giving Well campaign. And essentially, as they launch their new channel, in order to help us with our goal to give the entire country of Swaziland clean water, they've drawn alongside and said that for every person who subscribes to their channel, they will donate 25 cents with the goal of building an entire well in Swaziland, which costs about $12,000. The future of Thirst Project is really exciting because it doesn't just end with Swaziland. While that's a really attractive victory point to be able to say we've given an entire country clean water, what it really is beyond that is an amazing case study that when and if we're successful, we can then take to the current administration, the current UN, other partners with NGOs who are also doing water and say, look, if we can do this here, why can't we do it everywhere?
Community and civic service projects could include public space beautification, volunteering with the fire department, or being a library volunteer.
All right, this may feel a little bit awkward to talk about, but honestly, it shouldn't be. Awkward or not, this project is incredible. Here's the deal. Pads and tampons are some of the most requested and least donated items at food banks and shelters. Probably because many people don't like talking about them. But students at Carmel High School are on a mission to help end this stigma and raise awareness with their campaign, Tampon Tuesday. Through social media and weekly videos, they're creating a real change throughout their community and already collected over 8,000 tampons for women in need. From Carmel, California, please welcome co-founder of the Tampon Tuesday campaign, 18-year-old Clementine Chamberlain.
Hi everyone, my name is Clementine Chamberlain, and I'm a recent graduate from Carmel High School. I feel extremely fortunate that I've never had to make that decision between having food to eat and having tampons and pads while I'm on my period. I've also never had to miss a week of school because during my period I just couldn't afford tampons and pads. Furthermore, I have never had to use discarded objects or dirty rags in replacement of these items, but sadly, millions of menstruators, low-income and homeless menstruators around the United States do face this. So when I was a senior in high school, I started Tampon Tuesday. I started this initiative with the service club at my school. When I found out that tampons and pads are one of the most needed yet least donated items to shelters, I started thinking about maybe why that was. And I thought about how, as our whole lives, we never really talk about it openly. We aren't really taught. We taught to keep it hush-hush, whisper, do you have a tampon? It's something that we keep on the down low. And I think that this is why people aren't remembering this is a necessity, and this is something that people need and need to be donated. So what our club started doing was educating. So education was the first step. We had to educate our campus, educate our community on these crazy statistics, some of which being that in 35 states, tampons are taxed as luxury items. And anyone with a period can tell you that having a period is not a luxury. Furthermore, students, 23% of California students are in poverty, and of those menstruators, if they cannot afford those products, they will miss school. That is not an equal education, and that is not okay. So we did have to address the stigma. It's an icky topic. It's something that people are a little weird about approaching. So we got a lot of people involved. As you can see, these are some football players being awesome, helping carry a donation box to the classroom. We got people to post on social media. I also went to the local elementary school. I think that if we talk openly about this subject from when kids are in elementary school, we will raise students who remember to donate these products to the local drive, to the local shelters as they get older. So what we did was we made these boxes. We went around to different classrooms asking teachers if they would want to help collect. While only a few were hesitant and some said no, many of them were overwhelmingly supportive. And to the teachers that said no, thank you for proving to me how important this topic truly is. So it got a ton of success. It was awesome. The drive lasted all year, and it's still going on even after I've graduated. So we raised over 10,000 products last school year alone. We put on a period packaging event. We worked with the We Movement and Allstate Foundation to put on this event. It was covered by news. It was amazing. Got to speak on the local radio and at conferences, reaching a bigger range of students. And Karamo Brown posted about it on his Instagram, which was pretty cool. So what can you do to help? To all of the students watching, start this conversation, whether that's at home, on your campus, collect these products. Maybe you don't have to start a drive, but don't forget about those objects when it comes time for a Tampon Tuesday or for a toiletry drive at your school. To any educators in the room, have access to these products in your classroom because you really never know which students might be in need of them. And to companies, I encourage you to provide tampons, pads, maybe even menstrual cups to your employees to promote inclusivity in the workplace. For more information on how you can help out, visit tampontuesday.org. Shoot me an email. I'd love to help you guys get started with your own projects. Follow This Club Saves Lives. And all it takes is a little courage and a homemade box, and together we can end period poverty.
So I'm so inspired by my new best friend, the honorary sixth member of the Fat Five. And Tampon Tuesdays, get to know it, learn it, is what it's about.
An environmental project could include habitat restoration, creating a recycling program, or doing a beach or ocean cleanup. Projects with kids could include providing childcare for organizations such as the Kashawa Center or tutoring kids after school. You could also coach youth sports or be a summer camp counselor for a nonprofit organization.
My name is Ronan Loberg, and I helped coach the Next Level Flag Football this last year. Basically, the whole point is to teach younger kids how to play football, flag football, and get them together to play as a team. So we really, as a coach, try to encourage teamwork and working together so that they can play as the team. As being a coach, you don't need any football experience at all. Last year we had lots of people from volleyball, basketball, anything to come in. If you have any questions at all, go to see Mr. Anderson. He can get you hooked up with team members that are on the football team if you want to learn how to coach, or you can just jump in wherever. If you want to coach with somebody too, you can do that as well. And if you don't want to coach, you can also be a referee. So there's referees that you can either do community service or you can get paid if you really want to.
I'm Dakota Morn-Hinweg. I coached last year. It's 2 hours on Sundays. You practice for an hour and then you play the games for an hour. It's not that big of a commitment. It's a lot of fun. If you want to coach more, you can. I know some of my friends that coach 2 teams, so they got more hours out of it. Yeah, I'll be coaching again, so I hope to see you guys joining us out there.
Hi, I'm Maggie Johnston, and I like to volunteer at the SPCA, and I help lots of cats and dogs.
Hi, my name is Piper Mahoney, and for community service, I sometimes like to make Thanksgiving dinner at the Monterey Fairgrounds.
Hi, I'm Peyton, and for community service, I like to do beach cleanups with my mom and my dog, and that is through the Carmel Residents Association, and you can do that from April to October the third Saturday every month.
You can also do community service in the realm of visual and performing arts.
Or you could volunteer at places such as an art museum.
Or a benefit performance.
And even design posters and web pages for nonprofit organizations.
Wow.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Madison, and one way you can get your community service hours is through Dance Kids of Monterey County. If you want to help, you can work backstage or with costumes.
Positively Social, which is all about ending negativity online and supporting each other. So I want all of us here today to stay positive when we interact with each other. And next up is a performance that is focused on positive self-image. Please welcome to the stage to perform Letter to My Future Daughter, Grace Heike, and their friends from Carmel High School.
A letter to my future daughter. From the fickle weathered cul-de-sac
cul-de-sacs of Virginia to the salted seas of California. Coast to coast and sea to sea, I've seen an almost annual scene of shrinking women with increasing insecurity, daily inferiorities that dull their personalities and outshine their eyes. My best friend is an English angel. A blue-eyed, blonde-haired beauty queen, the kingdom of her figure complements the subjects of her genes, but the exterior of her empire often hides. We were 15 years old when she told me she wished she didn't have to wear makeup. I knew it was because of the boy who told her she looked tired without it. I knew it was because the pretty girl in our grade didn't wear the same makeup. I don't know what to tell her she's beautiful with or without it. My best friend is a glowing Indian image. Kaleidoscope eyes and black hair out of the braids, sunshine under her skin she's not ordinarily made, but the rays of her sun often shy. It was last week when she cried to me and told me she wished she looked like someone else, but how could she wish when that boy looks as if she put the blue in the sky, and how could she wish when she is that pretty girl in our grade? I don't know how to tell her she's beautiful. My mother never warned me about this. My mother warned me about cigarettes and blackened lungs and drunk driving and drugs, but my mother never told me how hating yourself is just as pure of a poison as smoking or drinking. I've met thousands of girls in my life with so much love to give, and not one of them gave that love to herself. When I asked, if you could look like anyone else in the entire world, who would it be? Not one of those girls said, I'm completely happy looking like me. A letter to my future daughter, don't you dare ever hate yourself. I know my way around the maze of mental illness, and like so many others have, you will not follow me there. From the twisted routes where the number of calories and sugar-free gum reside, to the sudden stops of self-harm and self-loathing, there are so many of us women lost in this maze of self-hate. And it's not just the magazines or the media, it's got less to do with the beautiful woman on TV and even more to do with how your mother responds when you tell her you feel fat, and how your best friend comforts you when you tell her you feel ugly. We have been taught that self-hate is normal, a phase in our lives that some of us may never outgrow. A letter to my future daughter, hating yourself is not normal, diets are not normal, laxatives and miracle weight losses and Photoshop women on the covers of fashion magazines are not normal. A letter to my future daughter, love yourself, unconditionally, passionately, happily. When I ask you if you could be anyone else, who would it be? I hope you say, no mom, I'm completely happy being me. Love yourself, be your own best friend, be your own biggest fan, be your own soulmate, love yourself, unconditionally, passionately, happily, with the lights on, with the mirrors uncovered, with the scale under your feet, love yourself. When your jeans feel a little tight, when your hairdresser cuts your bangs too short, when your acne has covered every inch of your face, love yourself. Even when you're sad, even when you're angry, even when you are jealous and alone and confused, you have to keep loving yourself. Love yourself with overlined red lipstick and thick winged eyeliner, and love yourself when the makeup has run down the shower drain and your face is naked and bare and tinted pink. Love yourself unconditionally, passionately, happily. Beautiful isn't a jean size or a tag on a t-shirt. Beautiful isn't a number on a scale or a small, medium, or large. There isn't just one beautiful. It is okay to love yourself despite the number on the tag of your favorite jeans, despite the width of your hips, despite the composition of your skin, despite the consistency of your hair. When someone tells you that you're too confident, you smile and you tell them that you're not too anything, because you're never too anything, and you're always enough, and even more than enough, and you're never too much of this or too little of that, and I am tired of girls apologizing for loving themselves. A letter to my future daughter, you never have to apologize for loving yourself. Love yourself unconditionally, passionately, happily. A letter to every woman in this room, you never have to apologize for loving yourself. Love yourself unconditionally, passionately, happily.
There's lots of ways you can get involved with community service here on campus.
For example, you can join This Club Saves Lives, Interact Club, Environmental Club, Free Food Club, and Singer-Songwriter Club. Take part now, Padres!
I'm Gianna Braulio.
I'm Dolphin Kirsch.
And I'm Chloe Chavez.
And this is the Interact Club.
Interact Club is a Rotary-sponsored community service club.
Join us at room 43 at Miss Coven's room.
We have cookies and friends.
Every other Thursday.
Yeah, baby.
My favorite part about Interact Club is getting cookies and brownies at the meetings.
My favorite part about Interact is being with my friends.
I'm Gianna and I like the homeless
See you guys.
I'm Camilla and I like cookies.
The AIM walk was fire.
Hello, I'm Cree. I'm senior. I love Interact Club. I love to give things for the homeless people. This is the most part I love it from Interact Club.
My name's Grace, and my favorite part of Interact Club is it's actually interactive, and I really like the AIM mental health.
You should join.
Hi, I'm Sage Melton, and last year I co-founded Carmel Middle School's This Club Saves Lives. Our goal was to, by the end of the year, go to We Day. And to do so, we had to complete one global action and one local action. For our global action, we hosted a We Walk for Water, and for our local action, we donated food to the Monterey Food Bank with Scare Away Hunger. I am so excited to continue on with these actions with Carmel High School's This Club Saves Lives.
Hi, I'm Mia. And I'm Pascal. And we are the co-presidents of the coolest, the greenest, and the cleanest club here at CHS, the Environmental Club. Partnering with various organizations such as Surfrider, NOAA, Sustainable Carmel, and Elkhorn Slough. Aww. We have many opportunities to elicit change. We have spoken at city council meetings, organized climate strikes.
It's time to stand up!
And raised over $2,000 for Elkhorn Slough restoration. Oh, sorry I didn't see you there. I was just giving this tree some hugs. Here we are in one of the few untouched natural lands of CHS's campus. We call it the Chill Hill. It's a fun place to just chill, enjoy its beauty, and use it as a wonderful resource if you join the club. We hope to see you next year.
Join the club!
It's not untouched now.
The summer is a great time to get your hours done. Many students have completed their hours by being camp counselors, working at CHOMP, or being junior lifeguards.
There are lots of ideas how you can change the world. Some people think you should just complain about it. That won't change the world, it'll just make it mad. Some people think you have lots of money, making it rain everywhere you go. Holla for $1. Some people think you have to be really loud and yell a lot. It's like with a bullhorn shouting, "Hey you, yeah you, do it my way right now, you heard?" Other people choose to just make fun of everything. That's dumb, everyone's dumb. It's easy to make fun of stuff, but it's cooler to make stuff. Some people think changing the world can only be done by the smartest person in the world. Just put them in a room, let them figure it out. The solution of world hunger? Food. Wow, that was so amazing. Some people see the bad in the world and they just decide to ignore it, but that won't help anything. Some people think you have to be really famous and super cool. In fact, lots of people think you have to be really powerful to make a difference, like being mayor or senator or president. But the truth is, a title doesn't make you more important. The world is changed by you. It's one person filled with love. And they just have to live it out, so they do something awesome. Then that person is filled with love, and they do something awesome. It just goes on and on and on and on. And the next thing you know, everything's awesome. Some people think it's impossible to change the world.
It's impossible to change the world.
Well, you can see why they could think that. Living in the world with kids who are hungry, people who are homeless, families weren't happy. I'm just trying to figure it out like everybody else, man. I do know this, though. Next time you feel overwhelmed or totally alone, remember this. Things don't have to be the way they are. The world is changed by ordinary people. Little people living out big love. And that's what gives the world a reason to dance.
Don't do it for the hours, do it because you're actually interested in it.
Bye,
Padres!